Just last week, I upgraded my main camera that I use for all my recording and streaming to this, the Razer Kiyo Pro Ultra. It's hit the market around about £300. And honestly, right up until the thing getting delivered and testing it myself, I was quite worried because I checked around on YouTube and there was no comparisons between this and the camera that I was using, just for comparison's sake. The Logitech Streamcam that you're looking at right now, the camera I'd been using before and previously thought was pretty good, given the price of about £80. But for me, I think the change over to the Razer has been well worth it. However, I figured that to save someone else out there that same stress and anxiety that I had while waiting for this upgrade to actually arrive and test it for myself, I'd put together a little bit of a video and share it with you. Now, obviously, given the price difference between these two cameras, it can never truly be a completely fair comparison, but at least on my end, I decided to try and make things as fair as I possibly can. So we're going to keep this rolling effectively now, just using my usual recording conditions. So that is light from my screen, just illuminating my face from the right, and also straight on, just above the cameras, I've got a small key light, the Logitech Litra, I do believe. So as we've said, right now we're looking at the Razer Kiyo Pro Ultra. Just going to switch over now to the Logitech Streamcam. Hopefully you can see the huge change in low light noise performance between these two. We are going to take a look also in different lighting conditions in just a moment, but we're back now on the Kiyo Pro. And once again, onto the Logitech Streamcam. Huge change, I think you'll agree, in this type of lighting conditions. Alright, so for this test now, we've got all the same parameters as before. The small key light, the monitor light on the exact same screen as before. Well, this time we've got overhead lighting that's really not very flattering at all, but I thought I'd include a very bright light condition for you. So this is now Kiyo Pro Ultra, and switching over to the Logitech Streamcam. And once again, if we just go back, Kiyo Pro and Streamcam. But just cycle between these a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see the difference between these two is magnificent, even in bright conditions, I'd say. For me, I'm really thinking it was worth the upgrade, but hopefully this helps some of you too. Let's now check it in really low light. All right, so this is for the ultra low light conditions test. What we're looking at now is just the light reflected from me from my own video being recorded in OBS on the main screen, so it couldn't really get much worse than this. And I will say that the image on screen, as I'm just looking at the actual feedback from OBS, is brighter than in reality by a fair bit, to be honest. So it's really bright over on the Kiyo Pro. Here is the Logitech Streamcam by comparison, which is really starting to struggle with a lot of noise and mottling becoming apparent all over the image that I'm noticing, especially in this test. I wouldn't recommend using this camera in this kind of conditions. As you can see, it's just far too noisy. But the Kiyo Pro is perfectly usable in this kind of condition. It's really unbelievable just how good that Sony StarViz sensor is that they've used in this thing. Actually amazing between those two. Next up, I think, and finally, a little bit of a microphone comparison so you can see what these things are like just with the inbuilt microphones. Alright, so once again we're back to usual recording conditions, but this time instead we're just using the microphone from the Razer Kiyo Pro for this particular part of the comparison. We're now going to switch over Logitech camera's microphone. Hopefully you can detect a change between these. There's no way that I can monitor this live. Back over now to the Razer Kiyo Ultra microphone, and now back to the Logitech Streamcam once again. I'm just wrapping on my desk slightly, open and shut a drawer a few times, see how well this is getting picked up, these background noises. Same test. How does that sound? Well, I just actually reviewed that footage right after recording it there, and wow, I would honestly suggest that if you are going to do some recording with any of these cameras, just don't use the inbuilt mic because it's terrible on both of them. I think the Logitech's actually the winner out of the two, the least terrible of them, but still both are really, really bad. I'm using a £50 or so microphone, a Mayono, I do believe is the brand, from Amazon. And this thing sounds a ton better than either of them. So definitely, if you're thinking about content creation or even just high quality Skype calling and Discord calls and things like that, really seriously give this kind of thing some consideration, because the inbuilt mics on these, they're just not good enough, I would say. Well, that's about it from me. I hope that someone out there found this one useful, and like the video if you want to show some support. Maybe subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.